Now, we all know President Obama rolled out the red carpet for Iran. But did he also roll out the green carpet? A new report indicates the Obama administration secretly tried to give Iran access to the U.S. financial system shortly after the 2015 nuke deal. We're told it was so they could convert $5.7 billion with a B worth of useless Iranian money into greenbacks. The report claims the Treasury Department issued a license, but American banks refused to participate for fear of running afoul of U.S. sanctions and because of the negative perception. Now, remember, the Obama administration repeatedly told Congress it did not and would not grant Iran access to our financial system. There's something rotten in the state of Denmark, but was there also something rotten in the White House? Let me go to my action-packed party panel. She's a correspondent for the Greg Gutfeld Show. Kat Timpf is here, along with comedian Joe DeVito, and a member of the Trump Re-Election Advisory Board, a managing partner at the Logan Circle Group, Harlan Hill. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Let's make this hump day very special. So let's talk a little bit about this, because this is very problematic. We thought that the $1.7 billion in big pallet of cash was bad enough, trading currency for American hostages, but this seems equally problematic and very shady.
Maybe I'm naive, but I didn't think that something like this was possible. I didn't think that an American president would subvert American law and the sanctions that had been put in place against Iran to limit their nuclear weapons program for some unknown reason. Was he deliberately, I'm not saying this flippantly, was he deliberately trying to undermine American security? Otherwise, I don't understand what the explanation is for this. I mean, and if there is one, I want to hear it.
Yeah, and that is, well, you know, maybe Ben Rhodes will invite us into his echo chamber and tell us. I hope people ask him about it when he's on his narcissistic book tour. But, you know, you're talking about $5.7 billion. The Obama administration, maybe they are just extremely naive, going, well, they're not going to buy fissile material anymore because they're not building nukes, but they are funding Hezbollah. And directly funding terror.
Well, this is starting to sound more and more like a money laundering operation, the way it went through that, what they sent it to them originally in commemorative coins from the Franklin Mint.
Yeah, and then into dollars, and then it was supposed to be changed into euros.
Yeah, it sounds almost as if they passed it off and said, go get yourself something nice with that. So it shows you what a horrible deal this was. And what proves that is that they tried to hide this. They knew it was a bad deal. It's the kind of deal that you usually hope maybe you get kissed beforehand, and that's what the deal they said to the American public. And it wasn't even a good deal for the Iranian people either. No. I don't know what he thought we were getting out of it.
That's a good point that you don't hear much about. And
yeah, it's
there are
just for
a lot
mullahs.
of Americans that are very confused by this deal. What do we really get out of it? But then you hear stuff like this. Does it erode your trust in government and people in power?
This is exactly why I don't trust the government. Top officials completely misled not only the American people, but also Congress in what was actually happening with this Iran deal. And I have no trust for anyone in power because of stories like this. It's not the first time we've seen something like this happen. I'm almost not surprised. Yeah. Of course there was more to the story than what we heard. Of course they had to do a little extra in this deal more than what we heard. So I'm not surprised, but I'm as disgusted as always.
Yeah, it is so weird that, you know, this much money and the harm that could come from flipping a switch like that wasn't even considered and wasn't disclosed.
Yeah. I'm not one of these crazy conservatives that think that Obama was the Antichrist, okay? I'm not one of these people. But I'm really struggling to understand what the motive was here, honestly.
I mean, considering where that money could go, and considering
Hezbollah, you mentioned it.
Yeah, but considering how much destabilization and harm could come from that much money in very questionable hands in a short period of time, I don't understand it either. Yeah. But you know what? We're going to move on because we found her. And now we can finally put the ridiculous media conspiracy theories and hysteria to bed. Melania Trump today making her first public appearance in nearly a month alongside the president at FEMA headquarters ahead of the 2018 hurricane season. Watch this.
She went through a little rough patch, but she's doing great, and we're very proud of her. She's done a fantastic job as First Lady. The people love you. People of our country love you. So thank you, honey.
She looks good. That appearance came hours after the president slammed the press for the speculation about the First Lady's whereabouts. The president tweeting, quote, "The fake news media has been so unfair and vicious to my wife and our great First Lady Melania, Spelled her name right, see? During her recovery from surgery, they reported everything from near death to facelift to left the WH and me for NY or Virginia to abuse, all fake. She's doing really well. So will the media get the message and knock off all the bogus reporting? I feel bad for her on a number of levels. I think it's very difficult to be first lady in the best of times with a very boring husband.
Yeah, but on the bright side, at least people notice when she goes missing. I want to be that famous and successful. I spent all of last weekend in my apartment watching Young and Pregnant, and nobody even called me. So I don't think this is that bad. But in all seriousness, there are certain people, many people apparently on the left, who just wake up every day trying to find something going on in the Trump family that they can turn into a scandal.
Yeah.
She wasn't around for a couple days. So what? She was chilling. Let her chill.
Yeah, and Lord knows what happened. Maybe she got a kidney. Maybe she gave a kidney.
She was recovering from surgery. What kind of personal public appearances do they expect her to make?
Yeah.
I don't think they well, first of all, she's beautiful, she's smart, and she's married to a rich white guy. So the left will never forgive her. They're never going to let that slide. But they don't understand how insane they sound when they come up with these conspiracy theories. They sound like the birthers if the birthers changed the country every day.
Yeah.
If every day it became the top story.
Yeah, or if the birthers were mainstream journalists.
Exactly. They're embarrassing themselves.
No. Melania, Harlan.
It's amazing. In a White House full of leaks, the First Lady's team didn't leak anything about the First Lady
Maybe they
for
should
like
be in
20-something days.
That's a really good point. Maybe they should be in charge.
Like nothing?
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
it also means the difference is that she inspires a very specific kind of loyalty. That's one thing that her husband has not yet mastered.
Well, oh my gosh, no. If the president shot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue, I'd be out there burying the body, hiding the body. I mean, so he's inspired a form of, no, I'm serious.
What?
He's inspired a form of loyalty.
I don't think that's okay.
It's a metaphor.
That doesn't
It's a metaphor.
sense. Yeah.
It's a metaphor, okay? My point
I mean, are you saying that people are so loyal?
No, I'm saying that he's inspired a form of loyalty where people
among some people, but others not so much.
I tell you, I know a lot of people at the White House that love the president and would do anything for him and would protect him.
Not all, but that's the problem. Is not all people feel the same creepy way that you do.
And in part, well, not creepy. I'm using that as a metaphor because the president used that as a metaphor before. But, you know, when you look at this, unfortunately, as the White House was built out, it was filled by a lot of people that wanted to subvert the president. I know that.
Yeah.
And
so why are we still seeing leaks?
I think the only way to do this is to actually clear out entire departments at a time and to rehire, rebuild. And that's not going to happen. No. It's too hard when you have a moving ship. But credit to the First Lady. I mean, the team that she's built out is unbelievably loyal. And I think has done her an amazing service.
Then she and her team need to sit the president and his team down and say, you know what, bro, this is how you do it.
You know what? I've actually heard that she's done that.
Yeah. Well, that's see, she's even smarter than we thought.
She
with
speaks
her
6 languages. She's brilliant.
And her 6-inch heels.
Yes.
I could.
How does she walk around like that?
She's a damn genius. All right, bless her bones and bless the panel's bones. We'll do that later with the priest. First up, though, are you looking for a job? The economy is booming, and a new report claims there are more jobs than job seekers. So why does my next guest say we shouldn't celebrate quite yet? Charlie LaDuff is back here to talk about how the media and government are failing you. That's next. Kim K isn't the only celeb making political waves. The New York Post reporting that 5-time NBA champ Dennis Rodman will be in Singapore for the summit between President Trump and Kim Jong-un. The Worm has been to the Hermit Kingdom 5 times. Holy cow. And he claims to be good friends with KJU. He's even taken some credit for improved relations and claims he gave a copy of The Art of the Deal to Lil Kim last time he was in North Korea. But that's assuming the meeting still happens. As of now, it is on. The president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, tossed an insult at North Korea while speaking in Israel, saying Kim Jong-un got, quote, on his hands and knees and begged to reschedule the summit after President Trump had canceled it. So should it really be Dennis Rodman who wins the Nobel Prize? If the summit is successful, I argue an emphatic yes. The party panel is back. Katherine Timpf, Joe DeVito, and Harlan Hill. I don't foresee anything bad happening with Dennis Rodman in Singapore, Harlan.
I hope not. And it's sort of this bizarre world we live in when some of the saviors of American democracy and diplomacy are former stars and sports stars.
Okay.
He's laughing. Right?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I want to talk a little bit about it, though, because, Joe, you have been the sober person in the room with drunk people.
Yes.
President Trump does not drink. Kim Jong-un and Dennis Rodman, when they get together,
they tear it up.
They
Those
empty
two.
Distilleries. So can you imagine how annoying it's going to be for the president sitting there while Dennis and Kim hold each other's hair back while they barf?
When you look at what's going on and what makes sense now, it's starting to sound like one of those old episodes of Love Boat, where they just would cram in as many celebrities as they could.
Sure.
Maybe Dennis Rodman, whether it was, he's not a superstar, but he was always a team player, whether it was pulling down rebounds or...
LeBron James would love to have a Dennis Rodman getting some offensive boards.
Exactly. So maybe, who knows what the rules are anymore. We just saw Kim Kardashian show that she has a brain and a heart in addition to a giant butt. So I'm not going to say any of this won't work.
She's right on the policy.
She's right. She's right on that.
Yeah.
All right, so Dennis Rodman, are you for or against it, Kat?
I've always been for Dennis Rodman, just as a general rule, which might not be a good thing, but it's just the truth.
He was a Piston.
He was a Piston. I was a big fan of him. I kind of had a crush on him when I was a little girl. I don't know what that says about me. But there's a huge difference between Dennis Rodman and Kim and Trump and Kim. Dennis Rodman just likes to hang out with him, which is a very, very strange thing, seeing as he is an evil dictator. And I don't really generally like to hang out with evil dictators. When I'm choosing my friends, that's usually like one of the few criteria that I do have.
Yeah. As your friend, I would say you've got very low standards.
Yeah.
And as a benevolent dictator, you will endorse that.
I don't even think...
Yeah, you can't be an evil dictator, and you have to text me back. Those are the only two rules.
Exactly. That's absolutely right. I will be very curious to see if Dennis Rodman goes. Yeah. And if he adds anything productive. I think he actually might.
Yeah.
I don't know why
the man's
I
a star.
think that, but
you can't deny he's a star.
And it's funny because the Chicago Bulls championship teams have provided us with so much North Korean diplomacy, from Michael Jordan's basketball to Dennis Rodman's bowling. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Harlan, Jewel, Kat, I just want to pinch myself because this panel is a dream come true. Bruises. Coming up, NASA promising a major announcement tomorrow about Mars. Did scientists just discover life? Or maybe another star bomb? Dr. Michio Kaku explains it all. He's the smartest person I know. He's coming up.